All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the end of the year edition of the RnRGzrs show. Once again, I'm your host, Murph, and I sure do thank you all throughout the year for watching the videos, for subscribing, and thanks to our new viewers who are on board. And thanks for liking some of our videos and commenting and all that good stuff. We hope you'll continue to do it in the new year. And boy, what a year it's been. And we're going to go through it right now, but I can't do it without my co-host Doc Vox. How you doing, Doc?
Happy New Year, good sir. Happy New
Yes,
Year, my,
sir.
my good friend. Yeah, here we are, 2024, man. We made it. So yeah, greetings and salutations to everybody. And yeah, just kind of looking back on the past year, rock wise, lots and lots of rock news. And what we're gonna kind of do is just gonna look at our top 10 stories, and we'll go through them. We'll have a little in memoriam at the end, and go over our fallen soldiers and few other little goodies along the way. But yeah, it's kind of starting out the year. The big story, and our number 10 story, was Foo Fighters getting back out there, and who's going to be the drummer.
Yeah, that was a big one. A big wonderment of after they did of course, the memorial concert and whatnot. Everybody was figuring,
Right.
while we were talking about how we knew they're chomping at the bit. They're only gonna mourn for so long, and then they're gonna get right back out on the road. And sure enough, we weren't surprised. They got back out there. They got a new drummer, and he is who they're docked.
Yeah, they ended up with Josh Freese. That was a lot of kind of the fun of speculating who it might be, and they were kind of hush hush about it there for quite a while. And
Yeah,
I thought it might have been Rufus Taylor, and obviously I was wrong on that. But yeah, they ended up with Josh Freese, kind of a journeyman kind of drummer, been around with a bunch of different folks, and yeah, they came out with a new album. But here we are, successful tour. Did a lot of festivals, so yeah, they like you said, they were chomping at the bit to get back out there, and they
they
did it in a
did in a
big
big
way.
way.
So they did in a big
Yeah,
way.
yeah, they did. And well, there are a lot of bands that got back out there. That well, we'll talk about that in a little bit because there were problems along the year too. A lot of problems with some of the bands, and we'll get into that. But yeah, it's good to see Foo Fighters out. Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl. He's basically everywhere, anyway.
Right.
So he might as well be back out there,
He's
and
omnipotent. He's everywhere at all times and knows that.
he
Yeah.
truly is. He is all knowing and whatnot, and
Yeah.
geez, he plays with everybody. It's just an amazing dude. So I'm not surprised he's back out there.
Yeah.
He's addicted to coffee and caffeine, so he's probably just out of his freaking mind at the
Right.
moment. But yeah, a lot of tours going on. Big tours. Of course, we talked about how ACDC, boom, they can't stop. All these groups are right back up and out again, and good for them. They got to
Yeah, I
get out there.
missed the mark on that one. I didn't think ACDC would have well, in particular, Brian Johnson wouldn't have the testicular fortitude, perhaps, or no, not even that. Just kind of just in his voice, and what made him get out in the first place. So,
Well, I saw a
oh yeah,
recent.
the hearing, right? The hearing was the issue at
Yeah,
first. Yeah, and then the
I'm
voice
sure
too.
they
Yeah,
got that all squared away. But I saw a recent concert of his, one of the more recent ACD, and I'm sorry, but yeah, the Back in Black songs, you knew right away. Well, the way this guy's singing, he's not going to be able to sing for his whole life with
yeah,
these extremely high screaming lyrics. and
yeah. Just
and
the
and
yeah,
nowadays, yeah, you can. I mean, it's really it's sort of almost comical, but not. It isn't. But when he tries to hit some of the higher stuff now, and it's such a struggle, and doggone it, like I keep saying with the singers that sing high in their careers early, and then they get old and they're shot to hell.
yeah.
And unlike the old crooners, yeah, they just can't hang anymore. So
Yeah,
you
that
know,
kind of segues into our number 9 story, which is kind of a conglomerate of different stories, I guess, kind of put under the heading of rock stars showing their limitations.
a
And
lot of them this year, yeah.
a couple in particular, we announced Bruce Springsteen had to postpone some shows
A
with
bunch of them, yeah, yeah.
peptic ulcer disease. And
Wow.
he's back out there now, though. He just got back out. I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago. I think I started seeing some posts of
Excellent.
shows happening. So yeah,
Patrick also, yeah, that don't sound like a 22-year-old injury, you know.
right,
That's
right.
like old man disease
Yes,
there.
and that's for sure. Yep.
As a matter of fact, Doc, hey, yeah, speaking of old man disease, yeah, I was on the table Thursday, and I'm proud to say the doctor was gentle, and I'll leave it at that, and we'll move on. But
All
yeah,
right.
Bruce, right back out there again, rocking these old guys. I'm just stunned at the at their age how they're able to really night in and
I
night
know.
out, different hotel room or whatever. They're probably got, I don't know, beds in their
The guy
jets
not
or
to get off on a
whatever.
whole tangent, but kind of tying in here, the guy that
Sure.
always amazes me. I haven't seen him in a few years, but you and I saw him together. Iggy Pop, man, is freaking. Oh my God, man! He's in his 70s now. We saw him. Well, I think the last time I saw him, he's in late 60s, and just boundless energy,
Yeah.
man. This guy is just unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
But some of our other rock stars showing limitations, and one of the other ones we talked about, Steven Tyler, and he broke his larynx.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what that would take, but I'm sure
Broke his larynx. Yeah.
his style of singing over 50 years now that
Yeah. They
came up
canceled the
on
where tour, didn't they?
they well postponed, but
Well, yeah. Yeah.
I just remember seeing an article. Excuse me, I think you saw it where Joe Perry is hopeful they'll get back out in 2024.
Yeah. Boy.
So yeah, not a whole lot of
Well,
optimism coming out of the Aerosmith camp these days.
that's an injury that doesn't sound, good.
Yeah, that sounds like a career ender for sure.
Broke his larynx. Well, yeah,
Right.
when you're singing like Steven Tyler, that is really a problem. So yeah, that could be a real issue. And of course, there's the usual Ozzy, always sick and always in the news thing. He's coming back and whatnot, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get into that
I
a little
just don't
bit.
know. Yeah, we'll get in on that, but a lot of these rock,
So,
all through the, our heroes are growing old and getting less and less able to perform. Hell, let's get a Rolling. Let's do a Rolling Stone avatar thing.
they don't need it.
Well,
They're ageless, man.
Keith
They
could
don't need
be
it.
Keith's
Yeah.
avatar. Keith's avatar could be a cigarette. Would that be great? A cigarette playing a guitar.
Right.
That'd be great. But no, I saw that mentioned somewhere how they ought to do a Rolling Stones avatar.
Yeah, they
thing.
don't need
So,
it, man. They're ageless, man. They'll always be out there. So.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
we got that coming up. We got lots coming up. I don't want to get ahead of
oh
ourselves. But,
yeah. But
get into to segue into that, we're talking about the legacy rock acts that are having the trouble, and then number 8 story was just the number of stories that came out, kind of keeping money from the upcoming bands. So the main one we talked about was Spotify, and they changed their model of paying out pennies or fractions of pennies, and now they don't even get that until they reach a certain threshold of streams. So whatever that is, 10,000, 20,000, or what it was. But
well, you know what the reasoning was, back in the 80s, the number of albums released in years by different artists would be like in the thousands, a few thousand or whatever. And Spotify has more than 120,000 new songs uploaded every day. So that I could see
amazing.
That being an issue. I could see there. It's like, holy cow. What do we, what do you do when the whole process has been so dramatically and drastically changed,
right?
Where now anybody with a home studio like myself, could 120,000 songs a day. So 100, yeah, that's wow.
Yeah, that's oversaturation for sure.
Really, what do you, I don't know what do they do? That I guess what that process that you laid out there, I guess that's pretty much the best of a bad situation, because if you get that many songs, if you get 1 million new songs every week, boy, I don't know.
I don't understand the threshold. I mean, if it's a listen, you pay the artist. Why do you have to get so many to? And like you said, what it was anywhere from 0.003 to 0.005 cents per listen. So
boy, oh boy, and then now we get AI and all that crap. involved in all this. So it's really going to be really be a problem. It's not like back in the day, I had my 4-track home cassette recorder. I still got it in my closet here. But nowadays, geez, I could lay down a song with 92 tracks like nothing.
Not a good point.
So it's a mess out there.
One of the other ways, I was going to say, one of the other ways we talked about the little upcoming bands getting squeezed with Live Nation kind of being a monopoly and kind of telling who can play where and kind of just their whole influence on it.
Well, Ronnie Radke, yeah. Remember you're talking about everything changing and the bands are getting squeezed even more now with the merch sales.
Right?
The venues taking 25% of gross right off the top.
To me, that's the most heinous. That's the most heinous.
And the groups have no option but to no wonder why a T-shirt's costing $50 or $40 or whatever when the venue gets such a big chunk. So yeah, it's been a weird year for the lesser groups. Needless to say, the bigger people just made bank this year.
Right, the legacy folks, they're always going to make it. Yeah, they're always going to have their asses in the seats, I guess. But to grab a foothold and just try to get out there, and the old way of just hitting the road and just building an audience that way is just, it gets harder and harder to do. And I mean, you guys, like I said, to me, that really is the most heinous one. Is it started off, the evolution of it was the venue sometimes would supply an employee selling the merch and they would get a cut. Okay, fair deal.
Sure.
Then it became a little bit more of a cut, and that became the ones that weren't even supplying an employee would take a cut, and now it's up to 25%.
Yeah,
25%.
Yeah, we'll give you a spot, but you have to man it, but you're still going to give us 25%.
25%. So I mean, we talked about that, but yeah, that's
fans are working on tight margins.
We had a lot of stories this year about up and coming bands just finding it really tough to get going. So.
Yeah, a lot of logistics.
It's the evil big corporations.
Well, a lot of logistics, because everything costs so much more now. Everything does, and so the
smaller
bands,
talked about the cost of touring and all that. Yeah, it's just
smaller bands are getting
so tough, man. So tough.
And the cost of tour buses is like doubled.
I think it's triple in some cases. Yeah.
So
since the pandemic,
everything, all the lesser bands are getting walloped.
I think it may have been in Europe where it was like tripled. If I remember right.
I wouldn't doubt it. So, geez, there you go. So good luck with that crap, but let's hope for better this year. But I, quite honestly, I have my druthers and my doubts about how good this year is going to be. But we can always hope. I don't
think anything like that's going to turn around. I think it's going to get worse.
Hey, one of the big stories.
Our number 7 is
started out at the
soap opera.
Started out at the beginning of the year, to be quite a soap opera. That was Journey. Man, they were going through all sorts of crap through the beginning of the year. It was truly an excellent soap opera. And since then, we haven't heard a squat. But boy, oh boy, in the beginning, there was all sorts of things with Arnel Pineda, their singer. He was getting trashed or whatever. I got an article here where Neil Sean, he says Arnel Pineda would be a nobody without Journey.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe Pineda came back and said, I don't need this crap, or basically something like that.
Well, you can fire me at any time.
Yeah.
Was his quote. Yeah, you can fire me anytime. So, oh God, there was so much drama from Journey, man, at the beginning of the year. You had Sean and Perry early on. They were going over some legal issues, copyright issues. And I think that kind of got solved along the way. But then you had Sean and Kane, 2 current members. They were going at each other's throats. Still somehow getting back up there on stage.
And playing, staying on the opposite side of the stage. And then Sean, he got criticized because Journey did a private show for oil companies. And it's like, what the heck?
Well, then they showed up at the White House, remember?
That too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just never ending. Or was it just it was just the keyboardist. He showed up.
Right. Because his wife was Trump's spiritual advisor. So yeah, this story even gets Trump involved, man. And they were invited to the White House. They go. Sean was up in arms about it because they always agreed the band wouldn't do anything political or religious or anything. And they just saw it as, hey, we're going and accepting an invitation. He saw it as supporting a
The
candidate.
White
So,
House. Well, you go to the White
yeah,
House when you're
yeah,
invited.
yeah.
It's the White House. It's all
And
about
then they
the.
had the 50th anniversary that came up, so he wanted to get Greg Rowley back on board. And then Kane's wife steps in and says how like none of the members want him. And man, this was a soap opera of
Epic proportions,
epic
dude.
exact. Thank you,
Epic
good sir. Once again,
proportions.
you have crystallized my thoughts quite eloquently.
Oh, it's just amazing though. But yeah, such a back and forth. And then the last half of the year, the last 6 months of the year, we haven't heard a peep, not a peep.
Yeah, they
So
got back out on the road and just kind of things kind of
just
died down a little bit.
made their money and everything, and
Right, and then
always.
along the way, yeah, poor old Arnel Pineda, yeah, he's got caught up in it. He's like, you can fire me at any time.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, and then Anthrax Joey, but Belladonna, he'll sing for them if they need
that's
to.
right.
I mean, all sorts of people get involved in this
That's
crap.
right.
If you're gonna fire Aldell, I'm here, Joey Belladonna.
Just letting you know, Neil, I got my own cover band. I know the songs. I'm ready to
Yeah.
go, man.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
Uh,
it's so kooky. So they must have ironed all that stuff out because boom shakalak, man, they're all good. So boy, oh boy. I love the legacy bands. The old, I guess, would you call them legacy bands now?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
older?
yeah, kind of, yeah. That's kind of what I look at.
Yeah. So good for them. Good for them. And moving on, again, we had surprisingly, this is really surprising. We had a new song by the Beatles and a new album by the Stones. And the cool thing about it, I think, is that Paul McCartney played on the Stones album, which is cool. He played on a song. So, and I think Ringo did too, didn't he?
There was rumblings about him. I don't think so though.
No,
I could be wrong, but I remember
I know
they were
Paul played.
yeah, there were rumors of it, but I don't think he did. But yeah, Paul did, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and the Beatles
Yeah, I think
song.
most of us has heard the song "Angry" by now. Yeah, pretty decent. It's good
Yeah,
Stone song. Yeah.
it's that standard, cool Stone song.
Man.
And the Beatles song was put together with the help of AI, which you know,
Man, we talked
AI.
about that
Oh
too.
boy,
Yeah.
oh boy, AI is coming up, man. That's
But in this way, it was used exactly the way it should be used, and as a tool. It didn't create anything. If people don't know that the song, John wrote the song in late 70s, like 77, something like that.
mm-hmm.
Put it down on a really primitive kind of 4-track. Well, I guess at the time it was probably state of the art, but old school, 4-track. And it was the piano was over. It was all on the same track. Piano, vocals, air conditioning, whatever. It was all on the same track.
Yeah.
And they used AI to separate his voice. And then back in the 90s, when they were doing the anthology project, they were trying to do this, but just they didn't have the technology then. So they actually had George's guitar from working on it back in the mid 90s. So now you got John's voice, you got George's guitar, you got the other two guys still around, and boom, you got a new Beatles song. So
that was very cool. Good for them. Yeah. Probably won't see any more, although there's people that say, they could use AI to do even more, but just no, leave it alone.
Well, the thing is, though, I think it's the only thing that where you had George and John were, worked on the same project, kind of. Anything else would just be, I don't know, grabbing bits and pieces and Frankenstein together. I guess I don't know, but yeah, I think that'd be the last proper song of the Beatles. Yeah.
Oh boy! Oh, I did grab a real quick article where Keith Richards says a Rolling Stones hologram concert is bound to happen. Do I want it? No, that's another thing. But like you say, they'll probably never die. They'll probably outlive AI. So
right.
AI will
it's probably gonna be all
AI.
the big bands at some point. I don't know.
They will become AI. Keith Richards.
It's all in the way you do it, I guess.
The brain of AI. Yeah.
Right.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Good job.
Be the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. And then yeah, things were cruising pretty good this summer, and then we started the concert season, so we'll be talking about that real quick. Yeah, so this summer we went to actually 15 concerts. Wow, 15 concerts. So that was pretty crazy cool. Pretty wild, crazy concert summer season for us. So let's get right into it, Doc. We started out
Yeah, real
with
quick, just to kind of preface things, people I know longtime viewers know obviously, but we have some newer folks. So we got season passes to our local Live Nation venue in Tinley Park, Illinois, and yeah, they have quite a spread of artists coming through, and we decided to go to 15 of these shows, actually 14 a piece. There's one each that we didn't attend and that the other one did, but yeah, and out of those 15, dude, like damn near all of them were in August, man. We didn't have any in June. It
yeah,
was amazing. Just what man. Once we got into it in August, it like took over our lives, man. We were like there like every other day, man. It seemed like at one
yeah,
point we were 4 days in a row, man. That's crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, we started off in late May, May 27th, I believe, over Memorial Day weekend, and the first show.
The first show, Ludacris and Janet Jackson, and well, yeah, first show of the year. Everything was a total mess. I remember we got there. It was like we couldn't, there were people standing around everywhere. Nobody could get in. There were lines snaking out into the parking lot. It was like being on the forecastle of a tramp steamer, if I may quote Bulldog John Drummond. But yeah, it was like a forecastle of a tramp steamer. Nobody knew anything. It was it was terrible. They were so
Yeah.
unprepared for this.
The way I put it, there weren't even lines. The way I put it was like an open space, people, and gates, and then that was pretty much the extent of it, man. And yeah, it
And
was quite
yeah,
quite
people are
chaotic.
getting ticked off, and it's like, oh boy, this is
Oh, dude,
great.
I honestly was concerned that a riot was going to break out, dude. People were getting ugly, man. It was rough, man.
Yeah.
But as for the show itself, no, we into it. Well, we did a show doing all this, but to me, disappointing show.
Yep.
Yeah,
That I would agree. Ludacris, good, decent, pretty cool.
yeah.
And Janet just he set up Janet, and she did not delivered a lackluster set. No musicians, a few dancers,
Yeah.
just like why what the hell?
Not
So
much of a backdrop or anything. Just yeah, nothing.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So Janet, that was sort of disappointing. And
but then, like I said,
next up,
we didn't see
we
any through June, and
yeah.
we had one scheduled for Three Doors Down, and we missed that one. But July 2nd, I want to say, is right at the beginning of July. We went to Shania Twain, believe it or not, folks.
Opened up by Priscilla
Yeah,
Block,
Priscilla Block.
a good country gal, big large gal,
Yeah,
very
body image
plus
positive
body
kind of
image
thing. Yeah,
positive type of thing. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and that was cool. And Shania, wow, it was wild. Well, first off, the crowd, it was a most diverse crowd of the year. I mean, there we saw Daisy Dukes and Daisy Dudes in
yes.
terms
That's
of
when we were,
shorts.
or at least I was introduced to Daisy Dudes.
It was
I was unaware
horrifying.
of such a phenomenon, but
That's the only horrifying thing about it, Doc, was
I'm
the Daisy Dudes. It's like
still
that's not right, man.
still going over it with my therapist, and we're working things out. But
Yeah, Shania was good. She put on a good show. She's still hot, wearing panties all night long. You just wow. It was like, wow. They're very cool show. I dug
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah, good
dug it.
show, good show.
Then number three, geez, we had Too Short, Wiz Khalif, and Snoop Dogg.
And there were a couple other guys, a guy
Yeah,
named Burner, and oh god, there was a fifth guy. There were five acts. Oh god, I can't remember the other act now. Anyway, maybe it'll come to me. But yeah, it was a weird show. It was a disappointing show.
yeah.
It was odd to me the lack of crowd acknowledgement. Just like after songs, everybody just like they're like at a party, and it was just like an album was on or something, man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's like yeah,
and
they weren't at a concert. They were just getting together with some friends, and there just happened to
yeah,
be some background music there.
yeah, yeah.
It was just
And when the acts got done, other than when they got to Wiz Khalifa and Snoop and everything, but even in the early acts when they got done, there was no all right. The guy just
yeah,
get done and walk
yeah.
off stage. And,
Goodbye. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
it was
What's
so odd in
next?
that way.
What's next? Jeez, yeah, it
But
was a very
yeah, not
strange.
much of a show to it, not much of a stage presence. Oh, Warren G was the other guy.
Warren G. Okay.
Warren G, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not impressed.
Um,
Geez, that's let me see. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I think that was the last of our rap shows. I gave it a try, Doc. I wanted to see what the rap thing was all
Well,
about.
that's why I feel bad for you because I've seen a number of hip hop shows and I've seen some good ones, man. Dude, Public Enemy is one of the best shows I ever saw, dude. And
Yeah,
I've seen more than a couple of shows, man.
but this was
And
not that.
but this was not
This was
that at
just
all,
really
man.
sad. It was
Yeah.
really sad, and what a shame because I wanted to give it a shot, and see what's going on. But geez, a lot of these acts, a lot of these guys, there was no musicians without any of the rap or
No,
the
there was not a
the
musician to
Janet
be seen all
Jacksons,
night.
the
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg. There was no musicians on
No,
stage,
no, not to
and
be seen all night.
they barely. I don't know if they ever got through a full song. Any of them.
Oh,
They
that's
always
right.
do
Yeah,
like
yeah,
one.
yeah,
They
yeah.
do one verse and then boom, go switch into something else. It was just totally annoying. Jeez,
Yeah, it was like
you know,
like a night of medleys. Yeah, I remember that.
the Temptations are rolling in their graves. I'll tell you
Right?
after listen to that stuff. Okay, speaking of rolling in their graves, Doc, you wouldn't even go to this one. I tried.
I
I
wouldn't even
tried so
go, man.
hard. I yanked you and I said, "Come on, man, you got to do it for the show, man." But Doc could not get up the
Could not
testicular
stomach.
fortitude
Could not
to
stomach it.
stomach Loverboy, and of course, Loverboy. I probably would have seen if Foreigner wasn't there, because yes, Foreigner was our fourth concert of the year, opened up by Loverboy, and boy, Loverboy. And it's funny because apparently you saw Ricky Rackman say that Loverboy sort of blew, and I had the absolute opposite reaction to Loverboy. Four of the five original members, the fifth member was in the band before they became famous. So basically, five original members on Loverboy. Real smooth, real good. Every song I knew, it was hit, 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 hit. And then Foreigner came up, and the thing about Foreigner is they're supposed to be in their freaking final tour, and there's not one original member on the stage, and it's just how odd is that? That the opening act has all the original members and the main act has not one. So it was really disappointing, and that's why Doc wouldn't show up, man. He said, "No, no, no, I'm not going to be fooled
Well, we
by
had
the
just
money
saw them
takers."
the previous summer too. They Foreigner opened up for Kid Rock, and we
Yeah,
just saw them. So yeah, just kind of I don't know.
they blew. It was just every song played to perfection. Whoop de freaking do it. There's nobody original. It's and boy, don't even get me started at they're going to keep going. They're not even stop.
Yeah, I
Really, no,
know.
I'm not. Okay, we'll move. I'm not.
We'll get into that in the
Next
next
week.
show. Yeah, yeah,
Next
yeah.
week, yeah. Oh boy, holy schmookums. Okay, so and at this point,
And the next show,
the next show
you
I
didn't
couldn't go to
Yeah, that
because
was
it was
dude,
too hot.
dude, unbelievably hot. It was yeah, a little uncomfortable. Yeah, it was a bit of a scorcher.
Yeah, what
So
you had? Who you had there? You had Alexis on Fire
yeah, it was
and
they had
Kim
oh god,
Dracula.
Kim Dracula, some garden variety, just wannabe kind of trying too hard kind of
Yeah.
thing, trying to take up space. But
Well,
Alexis
gotta
on
give it that.
Fire, I really enjoyed. I super enjoyed. Probably of all the opening acts that I hadn't heard of, I would say they were the one I
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
I really enjoyed them.
very cool.
And of course, the headliner was Avenged Sevenfold. I went with my daughter as one of her main bands back in the day, and
Okay.
great show. Yeah, it was. Just my takeaway from that show was very passionate fans. It
Yeah.
was yeah, the crowd was quite into it. Oh god, was it M Shadows? Pretty decent front man. Yeah, that's kind of remember being taken by that. They had a cool. We're kind of dependent on the big screens there, the monitors,
Sure.
and
Right.
they had some cool effects with that and stuff. And the way they did that was pretty cool. So, yeah, it was a pretty good
Oh,
show.
it was
Sorry you had to
hot
miss
that
it,
day,
but
though, boy.
yeah, dude, it was unbelievably hot, man. If honestly, if I hadn't had plans going with my daughter, I don't know. I'm glad I got to go. I'm glad I got to go and be able to talk about it on the show. But yes, given the circumstances, it was
Whew.
freaking hot, dude. Yeah, it was just well over 100. So
Okay. Moving on. Now this is where the next four shows they shut down the lawn for some
yep,
reason, and they
yeah.
had us sitting
Well,
in the
sales,
pavilion.
yeah.
Well, probably sales, but yeah, but whatever. But so the next show after that was Starship, Jefferson Starship with Night Ranger and Brett Michaels. And this was this was a great show though, because we had an adventure. We talked about it before. Real quickly, we're sitting there in the pavilion. We just picked our seats because there was a madhouse to try and find get the tickets from the guy. There 1,000 people trying to get tickets from one guy So
Oh
we just
yeah,
grabbed our
yeah.
seats. And I'm sitting on my phone on the Live Nation app looking at what seats are available up close. Sure enough, there's a couple of third row seats up there for resale. And the sale shuts down and seats are still there. So we actually finagled our way up there, snuck our ass up to the third row there, and was up there for a couple of songs for Jefferson Starship. But then the people had resold the seats, probably came to the show because they kicked us out. But that was a great adventure. You know, we set out for a plan and everything worked to a T. We actually got up the third row, which was really quite cramped for me. I'm glad we didn't stay anyway. I wouldn't have, because it's just not pleasant. It's not comfortable, kick back, comfortable like the lawn is. So that was a good time. But Brett, Jefferson Starship, yeah, they're okay. They had an 84-year-old guy who shouldn't have been up there singing, one of the old school guys with them, and that was horrible. But they moved on, and then
yeah, that was hard to watch.
yeah. And then Night Ranger, I loved Night Ranger. 3 original members. They did all the great Night Ranger songs. They did some what's a band they were with?
Oh, they
with
did the Damn Yankees
Nugent.
hits as
Damn
well. Yeah,
Yankees did some Damn Yankees song. Jack Black Still Killer.
Jack
Brad Still
Blades.
Killer. Drummer Still Killer. Jack Black Blades. Yeah, great band, man. I'd see him again. Sure enough. As for Bret Michaels, I don't know.
My takeaway from Bret Michaels was the band wasn't very good. You know, even you play the Poison stuff. Okay, yeah, CC's a sloppy guitar player. He's a good sloppy guitar player. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
but
sure.
the guy he had he's not a good sloppy guitar player, man. He was like
and for some reason the sound was horrible. They had I remember they had a low frequency hum.
Oh, that's right.
Almost through the whole show, and it was just annoying as shit. And being,
well, I remember
it
was joined by Mark McGrath, which was totally out of place.
Yeah.
And then who else?
God, that singer who was with Journey.
Right. Yeah, he had one of the Journey replace Steve Alger. Yes,
right. Okay, yeah,
and,
yeah.
Actually, it was a welcome kind of addition. That was pretty cool. But yeah, the Sugar Ray thing just was odd and out of place, and just seemed like he was trying too hard. Yeah,
it just was it was a lackluster show, sadly.
Then the next night,
next night it was Howard Jones, Berlin,
in the 80s, yeah,
and Boy George. And I went to see Howard Jones myself, and I wasn't disappointed. He put on a great show, electronic show. Obviously, he's all about the electronica back then, 80s electronica, and still in great voice. Had a great band, and
had a guy playing the Chapman stick.
Yes,
remember?
Yes, he did, and that was so cool. But if I remember this, the bass player was the guy from Kaja Gugu. So they had to do that Too Shy song, and that's one of the most hated songs in my life. So that hurt, but I got over it quickly, and moved on. But yeah, that was a great show, and Berlin, geez, they were even better. That was really impressive.
Yeah, my takeaway from that show was Terry Nunn
yeah,
she's the real deal, man. She can put it out there, man. Great front woman, had great control of the crowd. Walked out in the crowd at least 1 or 2 times.
Yep.
And yeah, very impressive. Very impressive.
Good band, real hard rocking band. Don't
what was the cover they did? They did a real rocking cover. It seemed, oh God, I can't remember now. I should have looked this up.
But they don't judge them by the few little poppy hits they had on MTV, because they were a really good rocking band. I was really happy with that. Yes. And obviously, we didn't go to see Boy George. We'll be honest, we didn't go to see it. That's not our cup of tea. But we stuck around for about half of the show, and he's at the top. He was at the top of his game, man. Culture Club kicking, I shouldn't say kicking ass. They weren't kicking it. They're doing things well. Had a couple of great female singers.
They at the top of their game for what they were doing. Yeah,
really good. I'm sure the rest of the night turned out well. We bugged out after like half the set.
Ryan, you're kind of a more of a Vegas type style kind of presentation, I guess. Yeah, a little bit more. But,
not totally flamboyant, out of control, but
pretty polished.
Polished. Yeah, measured, and good band, good singing. Good job. Yeah, and it sounded good. See, I realized right then, it's like, well, see, it's not that we're in the pavilion that sounds so crappy. It was the sound man, because Boy George's sound guy. He
Right.
had it going on. It sounded
Next night,
great.
yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So, after that, this was great.
And the next night,
Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin
evening.
Evening. Thank you. I keep saying experience.
Yeah,
Led
actually, that
Zeppelin
seems to fit would
Evening.
fit better. Yeah, but
Yeah. And he opened up for Government Mule. And yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I figured LZ would be great. And of course, they were. They got Mr. Jimmy on guitar. He's basically world renowned at this point for his playing Zeppelin. He's just amazing. He's really.
Yeah, you got Jason Bonham. You got John Bonham's son. He's not going to half-ass it, man. He's going to put together a show, man.
Were they good?
I just remember as far as that part of the show was really focused on a lot of the earlier stuff. I don't think they did anything past physical graffiti. Probably. I don't think they touched
code.
Yeah,
they didn't touch code.
No, nothing like that. They didn't even do In Through the Outdoor. Nothing off of that. Presence, nothing off of that. But,
no, but good though. Good. All the early stuff.
All the early
they were
stuff,
good.
yeah.
Jimmy's such a good player. And they really kicked butt. But I had no idea what to expect with Government Mule. Warren Haynes on guitar. I knew about him, but I wasn't really familiar with Government Mule. But I'll be damned. It was basically the to me it was damn near the best show of the whole.
It was a show of the
season.
Summer. Yeah.
Show of the summer.
And the main part, what we knew, they were doing Dark Side of the Moon. They were doing the whole album. Their take, Dark Side, not their take. They did it fucking just like the album.
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon. They started off. They kind of did a little mini Government Mule set, which was they did the way they presented it was everything about the show was perfect, man. It was so well put together.
Yeah,
they did the little Government Mule set, kind of get you familiarized with what they're doing and everything, and then they got into the Floyd. You knew they were going to do Dark Side of the Moon, but then they didn't even start with that. They start with Shine On Crazy Diamond, and then they did what they do? Have a Cigar, I think.
Yeah,
they were another song off that album.
A real tasty.
So yeah, they did maybe 2 or 3 other, maybe it might have been 4, I can't remember, but and then they got into Dark Side of the Moon and just note for note. And then they had the 2 backup singers doing the Great Gig in the Sky, which was like your mind's already blown. It was best light show I've probably ever seen.
Best light show I've ever seen. Sure.
Yeah.
And I've seen Boys for Cults Laser Light Show, but this was just stunning.
Like I said, we've been to more than a few shows, and just everything about a stellar production. And then the 2 vocalists got into Great Gig in the Sky, and that just blew the top of my head off, man. My face melted. I was helpless, man.
They had lights I've never seen before, and I'm wondering why is this the first time I'm seeing these kind of lights? I can't even explain what they did, but they had haze generators everywhere, so everything was hazy. Yeah. So that the lights were accentuated.
I brought you into a tunnel, like into
it was mind blowing. Mind blowing. Boy, oh boy, I hope they come back. It was actually, sadly, it was the least attended show of the season.
Yeah.
But it turns out to be the best show of the season. So
come on, Pete, they come back. Season pass folks that didn't go to that one, boy, you missed one, man.
Oh boy, sure did. Okay, hey, moving on. This was an odd one. Gee, many creepers. Gosh, Butcher Babies, Non-Point, Cold Chamber, Guar, and Mudvayne. They had a 5-banger. Boy.
You really only need to talk about 2 of those bands, really.
Yeah.
Guar and Mudvayne, man. That's all you need to talk about.
Guar, good riddance.
Butcher Babies, I guess, kind of. They were just kind of, to me, they weren't much other than the kind of gimmick of the name, kind of. They sold a lot of T-shirts, I noticed. But Guar is just a good, fun show, man. If you ever get a chance to go see Guar, you can't go wrong. I mean, you cannot go wrong.
So bizarre.
I don't particularly advise bringing your little ones, but
no. Don't bring little ones.
It's adults only, but
I wouldn't. I'd stay away from like the first 10 rows if you want to stay dry.
Yeah. You don't want to be up front for that show.
Don't want to be up front unless you really want to be up front.
Yeah,
they spew a lot of liquid out of their orifices.
A lot of bodily fluids being.
It's funny they got a couple of, I don't know what you'd call them, dweebs or whatever, that their whole thing all night is to hook up the hoses behind them. with all the goo and crap that spews out of their orifices. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, they run around with a little monkey mask and little
Yeah, right.
loincloths, and yeah, that's all
That's
they
it.
do all night, is just hooking it up.
Hook it up,
Yep.
unhook it, and yeah. And you were in for trouble when before the show started. They lined the whole stage with plastic.
Yeah.
Monitors, stage, everything with plastic. You knew it was going to be a good time had by all.
And then they
And
finished the show with the AC/DC classic, "If You Want Blood, You Got It." And they had 5 streams at least, as I remember it. The whole song, constant, the whole song, just blasting out into the crowd, man, of Guar blood, man.
because
Yeah,
they're a
just,
good band. They're a really good band.
they're a
And it
phenomenally
just,
good band.
it's just it's so quirky. But yeah, good for them. And then Mudvayne come up the second time we've seen them.
Yeah,
Last time they weren't headlining. This time they're headlining, and the good show. Good show. Singer Chad.
Chad
spending
Gray.
most of
Yeah.
the show out. Being in the first front rows, right there with the folks, with the people. He spent half the show right out there with the crowd. So that's his thing, and he comes out. He's
He's a pretty formidable front man. Yeah,
formidable front
I
man.
enjoy watching him.
He needs good soaping after the show,
Yeah.
but not after. Besides that, yeah, good
He's
show.
It was a great show. If I could only understand what he was saying, it'd be greater.
Yeah. But cool fans too. Yeah, I love watching.
Anybody gets that reference.
I love fan people watching, and the different crazy people that come out for like Mudvayne. Of course you had a lot of leather, a lot of piercings and whatnot.
Yeah.
Pretty cool show. But moving on. We had Godsmack, we had Stained. Oh my goodness. And
don't say
Mix
it. Don't.
I gotta say it, man. Mixmaster Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, Mixmaster Mike. Yeah, Mixmaster Mike. What a douchebag.
The most horrifying, the most ungodly assault upon your ears that you will ever encounter. Oh my God, man.
Good call. This guy, a DJ. He was DJ for the Beastie Boys or one of them groups.
Yeah, supposedly his claim to fame. Yeah,
it's like really, somebody owes him money or something, because so how did he finagle his way onto this tour?
He's got compromising pictures of Sully Erna with farm animals or something, dude. Man.
This guy was so horrible.
Oh my God,
he was so bad, and sadly we had to deal with him for a while. And then who came up there? Stained. Stained was excellent. Great band.
No, I didn't like Stained, man. I thought this was a horrible show, man.
Stained, I like Stained, although his lyrics are depressing, but the music kicked ass.
To me, he just seemed so disengaged. And if you remember, it was like next to the last song, he's like,
"Hi, Chicago."
Oh yeah, I guess I should have said that. He was just so disengaged, man.
I listened to the band.
There was so much dead air between all the songs. He had every opportunity to say hello, Chicago, and then I guess I should say
hello, Chicago. He's like Eeyore, Eeyore from whatchamacallit?
Winnie the Pooh. Yeah,
Winnie the Pooh. Cheer up, dude! You got a good band.
Woo.
And Godsmack come on, and the thing about Godsmack that I was able to tolerate the vocalist, because his recordings, his voice drives me nuts, but somehow live it took on a different timbre or whatever. His voice sounded more I could deal with it better. But just a standard, drop D concert, basically drop B, drop C, drop D, whatever. It is what it is. So you didn't like Godsmack either, eh?
Take it or leave it. It was unnotable, and either way, kind of. So Ernest struck me as a better front man than maybe I thought that he would be. But other than that, yeah.
So take it or leave it, says Doc Vox, legendary Doc Vox. Well, okay, you know where I'm going. The next concert, we had Brantley Gilbert, country rocker, if you will. Josh Ross, country rocker, if you will, and headlining the show. The one
that was going to be Jeff Ross, the roast comic guy.
Nickelback. It might as well be Nickelback. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we went saw Nickelback, the freaking Nickelback that so many people love and sing along with and whatnot. we knew it was trouble the minute we drove into the venue, because we drive in and get there like 45 minutes early so we can get in there easily, get our seat. And we drive in and we see the lawn's already half full. Like, this is problematic. This is something's going on here. Sure enough, we get up there and the basically the place is full by the time the Brantley Gilbert starts the first act, and they're already drunk as hell. I've never seen this. Holy cow! You know, they have to get drunk so they can stand it. I don't know. They can
Yeah, I
tolerate
think
it.
that's exactly it. Yeah, you gotta be wasted to go to a Nickelback concert, man. I think
Wow.
unless you're us just as observers of concert going people's, yeah. There was an issue with my ticket. We won't get into that, but I had to go up to the will call center there to deal with it. And at that time, I remember somebody else next to me. They were saying the lawn is sold out, so they are completely sold out show. This is the biggest crowd that we've experienced there.
Yep.
They're completely sold out. You can't get more in there. I mean, that's it. That's maxed out. And the two of the takeaways for me from this show was the crowd, and by far, and again, we've been to more than a few shows, the drunkest crowd I think I've ever been a part of, honestly.
Holy cow. You know, we sit up on a lawn and you know, so you walk up the steps and then they've got a wide patch of asphalt all the way up to the top, you know, 3/4 of the way up, you know, so people can walk up there easily and spread out. You know, we always sit on the edge of the asphalt.
Yeah, usually
there,
that's
the
open,
aisle
but
seat.
this crowd, that's all taken up.
We had an aisle seat though, because there were rivers of beer flowing down the asphalt from up above. I mean, people are so drunk they're spilling their beers, and there's actually river flows of beer coming down
beer
the
cans
asphalt.
just rolling down the hill.
Right. That's right. All the beer cans too. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Holy cow, these people are wasted. And then by the end of the show, you know, even the asphalt people, filled with people. I mean, it was the crowdedest crowd ever. We crowded. Yeah. If I may use bad English, and I think I will. So it was crazy.
That was a good band, though. Bad English, back with John Waite and Neil Schon. Yeah.
Boom, shakalaka. Yeah. And you know, their songs are, you know, their songs are bubblegum type crap that everybody can sing along with.
That's a whole show we doing
that. Between songs, it's between songs, you know, they're like a bar band, you know. It's like
that was my second takeaway. Just the bad stage banner.
I'm just waiting for what's his name to holler over the mic that, you know, your pizza's ready at table 4.
I know.
You know, okay, yeah, you know, please tip your bartender. But yeah, so yeah, Nickelback.
Blue Toyota Corolla, your lights are on. Yeah, I was expecting
Nickelback, weirdest show. Definitely the weirdest show of the
worst front man for a band of that caliber to draw that kind of crowd. But you know, they're a polarizing band. We've gotten into all that.
Yes, they are.
But nonetheless, he's performing in those kind of crowds every night. Dude, polish up your act, man.
Yeah,
he was horrible.
Honest to God, you know, you're not a bar band, crying out loud. Okay, moving on from not a bar band here. We got ZZ Top. We got Uncle Kracker opened up for Leonard Skinner, who opened up for ZZ Top. Uncle Kracker, yeah, you know.
Good show.
Good rocking
show.
guy. Yeah, I had no, you know, totally a good opening guy. You know, I'd want to party with, actually, you know, quite honestly.
Right.
So Uncle Kracker, yeah, he started go, and then Leonard Skinner come out, and
great show.
Of course, Gary
show,
Washington had died. Did he die before that show?
Yeah. Just months before.
Okay.
Yeah.
He died months before the show. Last remaining original member, and again, you know, we talk about Foreigner, how there's no original members, but this is sort of different. You know, that there's no original members left in Leonard Skinner, but I almost consider a tribute. You know, it can almost you call them a tribute, even though they don't say it's a tribute. You get the feeling, the way they present the show, the way they honor the members that have passed, that it really is more a tribute than like Foreigners just out there, you know, just raking in money, you know, in a horrible scam. You know, you've got an actual Van Zant singing, and members connected with the family play. So I don't know. It's a different dichotomy. What do you think about that?
I couldn't have said it better, man. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't get the feel you're up there. Ricky Medlock's been with him forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, just everybody's been associated with him. Some people have kind of been in and out over the years, and yeah, it's more of the Leonard Skinner family kind
Right,
of,
right. Yeah.
and just kind of like you're seeing some members of that family, I guess, kind of
And
get more of a sense of that.
they're
Yeah,
just kicking ass. They just kicked ass, and they did a really great tribute too. You know, you don't see
yeah.
Foreigner doing a tribute. Oh,
No,
there's
Lou Graham.
there's Lou Graham. He's over in New York right now. Walking by a homeless encampment.
Yeah.
No, you don't get any of that. They did a really tasteful tribute of all the members and the Funkettes. I believe the Funkettes were the girls,
Okay.
and it was real tasteful. And what I really loved about this one is they kicked ass. They killed the whole set. They did deep cuts. They did the Ballad of Curtis Lowe.
Yes, they
just
did.
very cool stuff.
They did all the good deep cuts.
Yeah.
They couldn't have done a better set. There's oh god, what was one song they could have done? It was a well-known song. I can't even think of it now, but I remember not even one of my favorites, but that was like the only possible exception. But man,
They were spot on.
stellar set, man,
Stellar set. And then they hit up the stage and well, people weren't done. They needed an encore. And you know what needed an encore, Doc, is because they forgot to do one song. And the one song that they forgot to do was the one song that people scream at every freaking concert. I don't care what you're at. It's Freebird. So everybody got to scream out for Freebird and mean it. They actually wanted them to come out and do Freebird. So they came out and did Freebird and just killed it, of course. So I would actually see them again too, because they're at a quality tribute, if you will. Yeah.
A non-ironic call for Freebird. Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course ZZ Top comes out, and the first song, whatever the bass player is, I don't even know his name.
Elwood.
That's right, Elwood. He brings out that goofy ass 17, 18 string bass.
Yeah.
It's like, geez, just schlock. Put it away. Why?
It's gimmicky from the get-go.
Gimmick, yeah. Well, you don't need a gimmick. But I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with ZZ Top. Number one, they had a bad mix. Number two, they had a fourth player behind the stacks or something, a fourth guitarist or whatever. Because I could hear it. Musicians know that shit. When you look at the guitar playing and there's extra notes coming from somewhere. And that's no problem. A lot of people do that, but it was a bad mix. It was just an odd night, man. I don't know. It's like they were going through the motions. I'm still pissed off at them for how they just, Dusty dies. So well, hell, let's go back on tour. They probably didn't have time to even go to his funeral, for Christ's sake. So they were right back on tour. That still gets my craw.
Well, I'm sure they had that all worked out before.
I'm sure, but still. Yeah. And then Dusty sells all his credit. Don't even get me started. Okay, but they were all right. I was not overly impressed.
Yeah. I'm a ZZ Top fan. First concert I ever went to, ZZ Top, and I'd say ZZ so.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sure. So it is what it is.
Show.
Oh yeah, the next show was pretty cool. Let me see here. We had Sum 41, Simple Plan, and Offspring. And that was a punky, rocking, good old time show there, man. The people came, it's another one of those crowds where a lot of people knew all the words, and they were singing along and just having a great old time. It was quite a punky, new age-ish, just
to me,
rock and roll.
The most funnest.
There you go.
Yeah, I know.
I accept it. I accept
our grammar's all over.
Go for it. Yeah, you're right.
The most fun crowd of the year. And one thing I remember, and I don't think we brought it up on our wrap up review of the concert at the time, but in between sets leading up to the Offspring was like the coolest crowd participation stuff.
Right.
I can't remember. They like the Kiss Cam, but then they took it on to other things like the drink cam.
They had a lot of fun, a lot of games,
a lot of different games. Like I can't remember all of it, man. But
they need
They
Other
had a
bands,
countdown. There was a countdown up in the corner the whole time, and when that got down to 0, boom, the
boom.
offspring
Yeah.
were on stage.
Other
Yeah,
bands need to take note. Yeah, that
yeah,
was how you do between bands.
yeah. That was
Yeah,
very
yeah,
cool.
absolutely correct, man. Very, very cool. So that was a good show. All bands kicked ass, and we were better for it, if you will. Coming up next, oh geez, we had Ginger, Breaking Benjamin, and then Disturbed, and uh, Ginger. Wow, hard rocking, drop D kind of shit. The problem with all this drop D tuning bands is if you notice on a subwoofer, even if you have a subwoofer at home, when something low happens, it spreads out through the whole house. The lows aren't defined, and that's what happens when you got a band that does a lot of drop D tuning. It spreads out low and it turns into mush. And they had a lot of mush, but boy, that lead singer, there's female lead singer. Wow, she's a piece of work. She's really something else. And so I really couldn't understand much of them. They were rocking their ass off, but it is what it is. Maybe next time, I don't know, they can get a better defined sound system or whatever. I doubt it, but whatever. Breaking Benjamins. Boy, that's the third time I've seen them. That's the second time you've seen them.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and I was the third time I seen him, and I saw him front row once. Saw him again halfway back, and then the third time was a charm though. They're getting better with. I don't know if they're getting that. The third time was a charm for me. It really it hit home well. I love a band with great vocalists, and they don't just have standalone vocal. I love guitarists who can sing well.
yeah.
I'm
They
one
had
of
three
them.
guys,
Three
that kind of
three
took over
guys
lead
who
vocals at
sing
some
and
point. Yeah.
play, and just great vocals, great harmonies, and they were very much appreciated. That was a great concert. What do you think? Do you think they were pretty good?
Yeah. Again, I can take them or leave them. Didn't do much for me, but yeah, that's a solid show. I guess if you're into them, the guy. I don't know the guy's name. I remember looking up at the time, but yeah, pretty solid front man. But then we got into the aptly named Disturbed. And
Oh
we've,
boy,
we've talked about this so much, not to beat a dead horse, but obviously the takeaway from this, well, two. One, the pyro. We talk about that real quick, just to
fabulous.
make sure we get that mentioned.
Yeah.
Was next level pyro. And we had talked about where several stops on this tour where they'd actually set off the sprinkler system.
Yeah.
We were hoping they were going to do that at our show. And I don't see how they didn't, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about the sprinkler system because it didn't go off. I'm worried about its effectiveness.
Well, it is open air though, but you got that going for you.
But she had that. But yeah, his never heard us talk about it. His Shakespearean soliloquy of depression and oh my God, yeah, he's went into a whole. It's hard to even bring it up without bringing up the whole thing because you really had to be there to understand the whole scope. The whole scope of the presentation. The song was about depression and it might even be a little suicide in there. I don't know, but it's mainly about depression and then he's on a stool and it's very very intimate, and then it puts up on the monitors, if you know anybody, call this 1-800, you get that kind of the PSA. And then he goes into a whole just spilling
diatribe.
Yeah, just going into about depression and how he suffered from it and how
I was young.
Yeah.
And just
the part that I always remember, one day last February, he was talking about Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington, these guys that committed suicide. Yeah, one day last February, I almost joined them, and it was just like the whole crowd.
And then he starts bawling his eyes out and shit, and it's like, oh man, this is so heartfelt. And then I'm thinking, wait a while, time out. So I go look at some recent concerts. He's bawling his eye out at every concert.
Same thing. A carbon copy, man. Perfect. And he went on so long.
Yeah, I was like, God dang it, I came to rock and roll. Come on, Jiminy Creepers. Hey, why don't I go up there and do a diatribe about heart disease? Hey, guys, hey, anybody out there have heart disease? Yeah, raise your hand. We don't need that at a rock concert. We're trying to get away from life
You know, he had the PSA, the song. It was very, touching. You know, he kind of throw the PSA in there, kind of, brought it home a little bit.
yeah,
He could have done a one sentence, wrap up of something, but to go in, I mean, it was a long time. It was good 10, 15 minutes. I don't know,
oh, geez, it was
seemed like a
horrible.
half an hour, but yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
So then,
ooh, yeah,
yeah,
and
as
then
far as the
last
show,
concert,
it was okay. But and then it
yeah,
brings us to our very, very last concert.
which was Filter, Ministry, Alice Cooper, and Rob Zombie. And I don't remember anything about Filter, quite honestly. That's the thing about
Yeah, they
opening
did the
acts.
two songs we all know, and yeah, they kind
Right,
of
right, yeah. But Ministry, I was annoyed by them just because they were the only band I think the whole
yeah.
season that we they didn't have cameras on the stage on the monitors. They had some animation on our screens, so we could, and we're in the lawn, we can't see them at all. And he is a grody looking guy, that Jorgensen dude, but it would have been nice to have a camera on the stage. That was annoying. Industrial rock.
There's a lot of far left politics
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
going on, and yeah, get
Which I don't really. I just assume they
yeah,
keep all that crap out of the
yeah.
music because the
That's
music's supposed to be an
that's
escape.
their gig or whatever.
That's
But
their gig, but I'd rather use
then
it
we
as
had
an
the
escape.
master, one of
The,
our mutual favorites, the
oh yeah,
man, the myth, the legend,
Alice
Alice,
Cooper,
man.
man, Alice Cooper can't go wrong. Never does wrong. He's perfected rock theater. He's the one who's perfected rock theater. You got these schmucks like what's that schmuck uh
That one guy.
no, the one guy. Well, we got the one who's trying to be so outrageous and
Marilyn
whatnot.
Manson.
Marilyn Manson, yeah, yeah, and he really he couldn't tie Alice Cooper's shoe. Marilyn Manson, Alice Cooper is the original, and he's still going strong. Put on a great production. What did he do? Did he cut his head off this time? Right? Did he have the gallows or the guillotine?
No, he had the guillotine. Yes,
Guillotine,
yes, yeah,
okay,
yes,
because
yes.
he he switches between the two.
Yeah,
You
and
know, he,
I'd seen the one and not the other, and I hadn't seen the guillotine. And yes, now I've seen both. Yes.
and it's cool. And of course, his wife Cheryl, is a crazy nurse and whatnot. And then, I bet she loves it when she's parading his severed head across the stage. She's probably digging that, But oh, Alice, Nita Strauss and
Nita.
his usual crew, and
Yeah.
just a top notch
Yeah, Alice knows how to put on a show,
road
man.
show. Yeah,
Yeah.
he everybody makes money, everybody's happy. A great road show. So good for Alice, and
And
and then
I saw him. Oh gosh, I want to say it's been at least 10 years ago, but the show wasn't a whole lot different.
right,
But
it can't be too
little
much different.
changes. But yeah, he does all the hits, does all the songs everybody knows, and yeah. So
It's like comfort food now. Oh,
yeah,
he's getting his head chopped off.
right,
Yeah, comfort food.
right.
Yeah. Oh, and then Disturbed comes up, and again,
Rob
uh,
Zombie.
Rob Zombie. Yeah,
We
yeah.
just told him, so.
Yeah, and this is I think the second time I've seen him. I
Yeah,
think.
third for me, and it was kind of the same phenomena you experienced with Breaking Benjamin, man. For whatever reason, the third time was kind of a winner for me too, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
enjoyed it much more this time than before.
yeah. He's really found a niche. It is what it is. I can give it or take it, but his and his songs, yeah, they're all right. But he puts on a great live show. And he's very mobile. He got like four by eight platforms across the front of the stage that he'll running back and forth, jumping, running back all night long. I mean, I like seeing a show that somebody's actually putting some effort into, because some of the previous shows were really lame, rap shows. Hint,
And of
hint.
course, now he's the sole focus. Before he had John Five with him, and he kind of
Right.
had his a little spot. He had a little solo spot there, and just little spots throughout the evening. But yeah, for now, it's pretty much Rob Zombie who's the sole focus. So, but yeah, no, it was a great evening. Good show by everybody. hell of a year. I got to say, I've we've done this 2 years now. I think the first year, I think I enjoyed more, though. To be honest with you, I look back at some of the moments from the first year, and they
Oh
really stick
yeah.
with me. And
Oh, that lead singer running by, slapping us five.
yeah, Gavin Rossdale.
Gavin
To
Rossdale.
me, the whole Brian Wilson thing, seeing Brian Wilson and that totally spontaneous standing ovation after he sang only God knows why.
Oh
That's
yeah.
to me, that's a once in a lifetime moment. That's
That was that
you know
that chokes me up thinking about. That was
yeah, I know, dude.
unbelievable.
I
It
think
really,
about it, from time to time, periodically throughout my life, man. Just just thankful I got to experience that, man. Just one of those moments,
yeah,
man.
Chicago gave their final salute to a
Yeah.
legend because yeah, he won't be back. He won't be back.
So this year,
Wow.
yeah, we've mentioned before, we're not gonna be doing the season ticket thing, and
No.
we'll go to our
Yeah, sorry,
pick our ones we want to go to.
sorry, Limp Biscuit being opened by whatever. What's his name?
Oh, Corey Feldman.
Corey
Yeah, it's called
Feldman.
the Loserville Tour.
Holy cow!
The
What a great
Loserville
name.
Tour. I know.
I think they picked the right name for that.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, so there's our summer
Yeah,
concert
concert.
season,
We'll
and
get back
we got a few
into
more items. A few more
yeah, we'll
items
get
before
back
we.
into our top five. Our top
Oh boy! Oh
five
boy!
stories in rock and roll in 2023.
Well, Power Trip was a big one. The Power Trip Festival. We got a lot of different articles and whatnot out of the Power Trip. If anybody, in case you don't recall, the Power Trip out. Let me see. The Friday night they had Guns N' Roses and Iron Maiden.
Right.
The Saturday night they had AC/DC and Judas Priest, and then Sunday night they had Metallica and Tool. So like this was truly a power festival, and of course we heard that Ozzy was going to try to make it there, but boy, that's a whole show's worth, a whole new show's worth of crap with Ozzy because he just won't give it up. He apparently wants to die on stage, for crying out loud. But
yeah, that was kind of another set of story. But yeah, Power Trip Festival. This is the initial one. I gotta believe they're gonna do it every year.
this was the initial one.
Yeah. I haven't heard
I
anything.
did not know that.
I didn't know. I haven't heard anything about one for 2024, but I gotta believe this is going to be an ongoing thing. As successful it was. My kind of thoughts on this was, where do you go from here? You had I mean,
Cream of
Tool,
the crop.
yeah. I mean, where do you go from there? This is kind of the Monsters of Metal festival. Literally, it's one of those type of festivals, but you literally got all the big guns, man. I mean, where do you go from here? It was on the grounds where they have Coachella. I think it's at Indio. I want to say Indio, California. And then they had the whole thing. And throughout the week, they had the pop-up bars, the AC/DC bar, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
And starting off that festival, it was supposed to be Ozzy, the big return of Ozzy. And I called it immediately, if you remember. Not to pat myself on the back, but I said he's not making that show. And fairly early on, he bowed out, and Judas was replaced by Judas Priest.
Wow.
But that segues into the next set of stories, just the non comeback of Ozzy. I guess this was just a series of stories that just went on, and we're still getting them. All year long about Ozzy's going to die. He's going to die on stage. No matter what it takes, he's going to get up there. And it wasn't going to be a tour. Remember, he's still going to do another album and a tour. And yeah, we all said, I think you're getting a little ambitious there, Ozzy. And now we're even seeing comments from Jack and Sharon, and they're saying
and you're seeing pictures of him with his cane and stuff, and he says, I'm not gonna come back like some of these people, and they come back way past their prime, blah blah. It's like, Ozzy, come on,
too late for that, Ozzy.
It's too late, Ozzy. You're not going to be able to come back without requiring some kind of assistance to stand up. So just don't.
It was a year and a half ago with the in 2022 with the NFL opener. Remember, he had the back brace.
Yeah,
he was holding on to the mic stand like it's the last thing on the Titanic to hold on. Yeah, for dear life.
Right.
Yeah,
it's so yeah. I thanks for the music, Ozzy. Jesus, you and Tony, you gave us a new genre, basically.
Yeah. Oh
By
yeah.
Tony's accident, by getting his fingertips
Yeah.
cut off,
Right.
he gave us a new genre. I'm sure everybody knows the story. Tony Iommi, like the day before he was supposed to quit his job and go play music, he chopped off two of his fingers, the tips, and so to remedy that, to be able to play guitar without all the pain, he lowered his tuning on his string so that he wouldn't have to push down so hard. And then he got some plastic things on the tip of his fingers, and that detuning gave us a whole new genre of metal, man. It was the best thing ever. So good for them, but Ozzy, give it up, man. It's it's time. I really I can't see him doing one more thing. Maybe he can do some recording, fine, because that doesn't require the
But even then, we've
strenuous and
talked about that. He had the big album, Patient Number Nine, won
right.
a couple Grammys, had
Yes.
every respectable artist that he's wanted to work with was on there, and it seems go out on top, man, dude, just go out on top. We've talked about that, but
Yeah. We'll see.
yeah, that
Hopefully
was
he'll
one of the big set of stories, and like I said, we're still getting articles about Ozzy trying to get back out there, but
yeah, enough is enough.
yeah, I don't see
Jeez.
it happening.
Jeez. Moving on, another story that boy really filled up our whole year was Motley Crue. These guys, they're really it's better than a soap opera at this point. It's amazing. From the faking that playing with backing tracks, and faking their playing, the denials by the band that they're using backing tracks, and then the videos that come out of live concerts that shows obviously they're using backing tracks, especially Nikki Six. I don't think he plays anything at all. And we talked about that last week or the week before. Basically, Nikki Six. I don't think he does anything at all except dress up and put
Well, he
face on
writes
his
lyrics.
paint
He's
on his
lyrics.
face, and but geez, we've had gosh, I don't even know where to start with Motley Crue. They've given us so much
There was
material.
so much. We had the whole split with Mick Mars.
Yeah.
And first it seemed amicable, where it seemed totally reasonable. Hey, Mick's getting a little too fragile to go out on the road, so we were gonna, bring in somebody else. And then we had that whole speculation for a little while, or who's it gonna be? And then there was rumors it was gonna be John Five, and he denied the rumors. And then, but no, it ended up being him. And now it's the greatest thing ever. And they're back out on the road. And now Mick's talking shit. It was just the mudslinging started, where Mick's opening up and telling me Nicky never played anything.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
Vince doesn't sing anything. It's all backtrack. It's all crap. And and then you got that with the whole history of the this is for sure the final tour crap. But they're not alone in that one. But
It's just amazing,
and
though.
then you have the footage of even Tommy Lee got the hi hat going as he's going
Oh,
up on
right.
his
As he's starting up. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah, it was just
So
so
they've
much.
got countless videos of them faking their playing,
Yeah.
and they're all coming out with music. Mick Mars has got new music out finally, and Motley Crue's putting new music out now, but obviously, apparently, Bob Rock, the producer, is
Yeah.
doing all the bass playing
Yep.
on the music.
And now we're
So
finding out. Well, that was the rumor of the last album, anyway. And now it kind of sounds like it's well
it's
known.
well known. So
He's the ghost bass player on his album. And then
So-
we had the whole thing with Tommy Lee and the OnlyFans account or whatever. It's just,
oh my
dude, soap
gosh,
opera upon soap opera upon soap opera.
Vince,
And,
Vince can't, it just his gut, he can't sing, and they got video of him faking, with backing tracks, and holy smoke them. So
but in the midst of this, they put out a successful tour.
it's amazing with
that's
all
rock and roll
the
for you,
crap.
man.
But Nikki Six, geez, he doesn't play in the studio and he doesn't play on stage. So he's just he's like Milli Vanilli. It's just stunning. So wow, they gave us so much good stuff.
Yeah,
So another band that gave us a bunch of good stuff was Kiss. Geez, these guys, Kiss, and they'll be they'll be eternal. Of course, they planned it that way, but Kiss, they did their final tour, obviously 2023. They ended the tour in December. Had a few a few bumps along the way, and where they got COVID or whatever the hell. but geez, they gave us a ton of material, and of course the fired underlings have been complaining all year long about this and that, making smart ass remarks, being ace and more ace than Peter. Peter's been pretty cool, it seems.
Yeah,
You
it's pretty
know,
much moved on,
he
but
got
Ace
him,
will not
and
move on,
he
man.
got a nice, he's got a nice retirement plan. His net worth, he ain't worth the big money like the other two, but he's doing all right. He's probably pretty comfortable. Or Ace is just out of his freaking mind. He's it just he somehow gets in the news all the time for crap, for talking
Bitching about
crap
a
or
band he was in 40 years ago, man. Yeah, yeah, it was
yeah,
endless.
yeah. But Kiss themselves, yeah, they finally finished their things up in 2023, thankfully. And they're gonna obviously moving on with their avatar age come 2027. So they gave us a lot of news and what's gonna happen from now till 2027. What are they gonna? Are we gonna hear no Kiss? No, something's going on. They ain't gonna wait till
Oh, there'll be
2027.
something.
That's
Yeah, there'll
two
be
years.
something.
So yeah,
Yeah,
they're gonna
3
come up with
years.
something. So I can't wait to see what the hell they come up with next. Because they
Yeah, it
ain't
kind
gonna
of
be able to
started
shut
the
up.
start of the year, the end of the road tour, and starting off the year. The speculation was, when's the last gig gonna be, and
Yeah.
all that kind of thing. And then they talked about, yeah, this will be the last one for sure, but Kiss will go on in some form. And when there was all the speculation, how are they going to do that? It's going to be with holograms. They're going to put other people in the makeup. What's going to go on with that? And along the whole way, there's all these little tidbits, like you said, Ace bitching about something, or something. Gene's got something wacky going on, or said something wacky. Kiss was constantly in the news, or even Paul would every once in a while would have something popping in the news, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, throughout the year they were constantly on our show.
Yep.
Um,
And
Backing track issues, they had their own backing track issues as well.
right.
We
Right.
talked about so.
Boy, oh
Um,
boy.
uh,
Well, I gotta give them. I've said this before. I gotta really give them props. Just be able to put that freaking makeup on for 50 years. That's
yeah,
gotta be so horrible to play in. Especially in a warm gig. Geez, I really total props to them for that. But man,
yeah, you got 60 pounds of gear on, and you're
oh
makeup,
man,
so you
covered in
can't
makeup
your
and it's
pores
hot.
can't properly
Exfoliate.
exfoliate.
How
And
can you exfoliate your pores with that mega bond? So I guarantee they're really happy that they can now exfoliate when they get up instead of the freaking
it's
makeup.
amazing they don't have horrible skin,
Uh,
but they're multiple. They got ways of fixing that, I guess. But
but boy, oh boy,
yeah,
it's so good for them. What a career. I was a big fan early on. Not so much later on, but I've got their live album, their first live album, because they had some great songs early on. The first couple albums were really excellent. But after that, I sort of lost interest. But their early stuff, I
yeah.
really
Once,
like it. Cold
yeah.
gin and all that cool stuff, and Strutter and all that.
In
Yeah,
particular with the Dynasty album, yeah, they kind of became a Vegas act almost kind of thing. And kind of started
yeah.
going
But
downhill.
we'll see what happens. But like I said, they finished touring, but 2027 is a hell of a long ways away, Doc. So I have a feeling
Yeah,
3
that's
years we're
the
gonna hear
latest
something.
tidbit they gave us. Yeah, they won't be actually starting the avatars till 2027.
At three
So
years.
Gene's telling us they're putting 200 million into the project. So I don't know what that's going to end up being like, but
Yeah. No, what are they
they,
going to do between then? They can't sit still. These guys are out of their mind. So
I
I
don't
can't.
know.
Something's going to happen.
We'll see.
Three
We'll see.
years. They can't. They can't go home and retire for 3 years and wait for their avatars. So something crazy is going to be coming up. I'll tell you something else that's crazy. That's our number one item of the year.
Number one story
And
of the year.
crying out loud, she's everywhere. She's everything. She's an unbelievable businesswoman. And that's, I hate to say it, but it's Taylor Swift. She is unbelievable what she's done
She's Time
with her
Person of
career.
the Year. She's
Yes,
everything Person of the Year, man. She's
it's
definitely our
unbelievable.
biggest stories of the year as well.
She's now a
Obviously,
billionaire. Yeah.
the big tour that happened. Everybody knows about the Eras tour, and all the little steps along the way that we've talked about, and then the
Yeah.
coming out with the movie, or bringing it out to cinemas, and the whole way she went about doing that, and just bypassing the whole
Made about a quarter
normal,
billion on that.
yeah, Yeah, just
on the movie.
bypassing the whole usual
Whole
way of
Hollywood.
doing, and going
Oh,
direct to the distributors, to the
to the
movie
theater,
theaters, and yeah,
right to the theater.
and
Wow. Wow.
get the story of handing out the huge bonuses, like six-figure
$100,000
bonuses,
to her
yeah,
50 truck drivers
yeah,
each.
yeah. Now,
Wow. Wow.
everybody got a bonus.
Yeah.
Everybody. If
Yep.
you wheeled out the cart with donuts on it,
You got
whatever,
a bonus.
you got a bonus,
I bet you
man.
got $5,000 bonus for wheeling donuts.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
she's just amazing. She's a stunning businesswoman. Her tour just her tour grossed like 900 million. And then of course, yeah, like you say, her movie, which she paid for the production. It cost her like $20 million, and she made about 230 million from that investment. So yeah, I'd say she's a pretty good businesswoman. She hooked up with
Well, not only that,
Travis
but just yeah, we got
Kelsey.
that. But now, just the effect that her coming to town had on local economies.
Stunning.
It was unbelievable. We don't have the numbers now. We talked about it on a previous show, but it's unbelievable, dude. It's like it's like the economy of third world or second world
Yeah, yeah,
nations, man. It's unbelievable.
yeah, yeah. She came to Chicago, and in the ridership on all the public transportation just spiked big time for like a
Yeah,
week. Hotels, everything.
restaurants, everything.
She
Yeah,
just boosts the local economies anywhere she went.
yeah.
So this is
In the
just
hundreds of
sick.
millions. I mean, which
Yeah.
I don't remember the specific numbers, but I remember. I want to say it was like in Denver, it was like 380 million. I don't know. Don't quote me on these, but these are numbers I kind of seem to remember. But yeah, just a
And
phenomenal year, man.
she took total control over her early music by re-recording all her early stuff, so
Right.
that gave her back the rights to all her music that was given away
Yeah,
back
pull
in
the
her early
prints.
days.
Yeah, yeah.
She owns everything. She owns the freaking world. Really, she that's amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got my music. Well, I'll just re-record it, and then boom.
And then
And
yeah, to show how big she is. Okay, the NFL, it's already one of the biggest entities in the world, dude. I mean, it's huge. It's a multi-billion dollar.
sure,
It owns a day. It owns a day of the week, man.
yes,
It's
yes.
huge. She gets involved, it gets noticeably bigger. Just from
Yeah,
her dating one of the dudes, man. Now you got
yeah.
all these 14-year-old girls or whatever starting to watch football, man. I mean,
It's
there's
amazing.
nobody else that could have had a noticeable effect on NFL viewership than her. Who else? Maybe Beyonce, maybe, but she's married to Jay-Z or whatever. But it's
Boy.
unbelievable. They're
Yeah,
just
yeah. She got 80
unbelievable.
more, she got 85 more tours, more shows next year too. So she's gonna make even just a shitload of money. And good for her.
She reached billionaire status. Last
yeah,
we heard
yeah.
was what 1.2, I want to say, or
And she
1.1.
owns
I
the
think it was.
charts. I mean, she owns the charts, the billboards, everything. She just owns everything. And you just can't hate that. Why would you hate that? I mean, gosh, I still remember the picture I saw of her when she was starting out, and she was on a hay rack at some festival,
Oh yeah, yeah,
with
I've
a
seen that too. Right, right.
little
Yeah.
bitty thing in front of the thing, Taylor Swift, and there's like two people in the lawn watching her and her band. Like, there you go. There's the American success story. And just her brilliance in marketing, and her brilliance in her that's what really blew me away, is the way she just went around Hollywood when it came to their Eras movie,
Right,
Eras tour movie.
right.
Just what the hell? I don't need Hollywood. So she's
She doesn't need
brilliant. Good for
anybody
her.
anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure she got good things coming. She's at the age. I bet she's looking to settle down though. She's a Tennessee gal. I bet you she's
Dude, this
looking
whole
at
thing with
time.
Kelsey is just a pre-planned thing to just to
You
get
think it is? Yeah.
to get fodder for songs, man. To get you know
Well,
some
that's how she
experience with
does
some
it.
songs.
That's how she goes,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, she is going to give her
I
plenty
shouldn't
of
say that.
material. Well, I'm up in the skybox, and
Yeah.
Travis is getting blocked, and just all
Uh,
sorts of cool songs coming your way. Oh,
yeah, she pretty
in
much
any
owned the
case,
year, man, for sure.
boy, it's been a crazy cool year, just a bizarre year. In 2024, Jiminy Creepers, I don't even want to imagine how crazy this year is going to be, in terms of everything. Music, who knows? We've already got a couple of things lined up. We We got Creed lined up. We got Sammy. Sammy, I think we're gonna probably pass Limp Bizkit. I don't know. I may go to that one. I don't know about you.
Dude, I've been thinking about it.
I may go just to see the train wreck. Why not in the big screen? Train
Just to
wreck
see
right in front of us.
I hope it's a crowd like Woodstock '99 crowd. I mean, not physically start tearing things down, but to get into it to that level, man, where everybody's just bouncing, man. I would love to. I'd love to see that.
That may be one to see. So I'll tell you. So we got three. I got three so far.
Stay tuned on that one.
Yeah, we'll see what happens on that. But boy, crazy year. Looking forward to a new year. And of course, folks, if you can, if you haven't subscribed yet, give us a subscribe.
Got the in memoriam here.
If you haven't, in memoriam. Oh, I forgot all about that. Sure. Holy cow. It's been a tragic year for that, for crying out loud. My gosh.
That's to pay our respects to our fallen rockers from years ago.
Oh my goodness.
Some of them from not too far ago, but
that's you're right away.
Yeah, just kind of going through your list. Some of the more familiar names. Start off the year
January 1st. We had
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Fred White.
We saw them, and that was a great show. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Boy, did they bring it. But yeah, there you go. Right, 67 years old. That's how old I am. Oh,
yeah,
no.
There you go. And one of the White brothers founded the band. And then right off the bat for the year, man, a biggie, Jeff Beck, man.
Jeff Beck, 78 years old, died January 10th. The Yardbirds, his own group, Beck, Bogart, and the Peace, man.
Yeah,
just one of the legends.
One of those guys that could play any style. Any style.
Yeah,
and we followed that one up. Wasn't a couple days later. You got the dates there. I think Lisa Marie.
January 12th. Lisa Marie. My goodness, that was a shocker. Yeah,
I think everybody was shocked on that.
On the same day, also, January 12th, Robbie Bachman of Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Yeah, one of the Bachman brothers.
Boy, I love them. Yep. They had some great songs back in the 70s.
Oh yeah,
really,
for sure, man.
All over the radio.
Albums. Oh yeah,
and even some of their deep hits were really, really great. Oh, yeah. So yeah, moving on.
And we had another big one, David Crosby,
January 19th.
Quite honestly, it's a miracle he's made it this long, man. He's on
You're right.
He's on like his third or fourth liver, I think, man. He's like
81 years old. Yeah.
Real quick after him, not a household name, but somebody I definitely think is important to rock and roll. Tom Verlaine. He was a member of a band called Television, and they were the first band to play at CBGB's. They were the first one kind of started that scene.
Wow, 73 years old, died on January 28th.
In the whole alternative rock history of alternative rock, very, very important.
73 though, prostate cancer. What a drag. Bummer. So what else you got there?
February, we had old school kind of name, Burt Bacharach.
Oh, Burt, everybody knows Burt.
A lot of hits in the late 60s, early 70s, a lot of Dionne Warwick kind of.
Dionne Warwick, and if you've seen Austin Powers, he's the guy playing the piano on the bus when Austin is dancing with what's her name, but yeah, Burt Bacharach. You've heard his songs a million times.
Yeah.
He was 94 years old. February 8th of natural causes, obviously, but yeah, a lot of great songs.
Yeah,
this March, in love with you.
Oh yeah, Tom. And then in March, and we mentioned him earlier, Gary Rosington. We saw him in August. Couldn't quite make it to when we saw him, unfortunately. But
71 years old,
the last of a breed, Gary Rosington.
Yeah, boy, that was great. They were so great.
Then April, Harry Belafonte.
The banana song.
Down,
yeah. I don't want to know what that banana is. Actually, I got a deep cut on March 30th. One of my favorites, Gentle Giant, lost Ray Shulman, one of the Shulman brothers of Gentle Giant. I'm a big fan of Gentle Giant.
That's a prog rock,
very big prog rock. Yeah, really intense. And I believe the guitarist lives out in Princeton, Illinois, if he's still alive. Gary Green, I believe so. So
then in April we also had another Bachman brother, Tim Bachman.
Wow.
So lost Robbie Bachman earlier in the year, and then Tim Bachman twice, within a couple of months, man.
Wow, 71 years old. He died of cancer.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Then in May, a lot of Canadians
Oh
this year.
gosh,
Yeah,
yeah. And
those
this
both
one hurts hard.
Canadians,
This one
and
hurts
then
hard.
Gordon
Lightfoot.
Lightfoot. Yeah.
Gordon Lightfoot. My goodness.
Oh yeah, man.
84 years old, boy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
And he was still out there till right up to his death, I gotta believe, because I remember hearing him like at the Rialto or one of those places, maybe less than 2 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, he was out there a
He
lot.
died May 1st. Yeah, natural causes. Jeez.
And then we had a major one in May. The Queen of Rock and Roll, Tina Turner, left us.
Oh my goodness. Where the hell is she there? There she is. Yeah, 83 years old.
Yeah.
Died in Switzerland, long illness. Boy, oh boy. Wow. Wow. Oh yeah. In the 60s, of course, Nutbush City Limits, and then her work with obviously
She wrote that.
Ike.
She wrote Nutbush City
Yeah.
Limits.
Well, that's about her hometown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then her work with Ike back then, of course. Proud Mary and all that. But yeah. Boy, she put
was
up
one
with
of a
shit.
kind, man.
She really was something else, man.
There's nobody since anybody. Beyonce, now Rihanna, they can't hold a candle to her, man. None of them.
No, sir.
Not even close.
So
Not
yeah,
even
good
close.
for boy. She was just outstanding.
And another legend in July. Got through June without anybody major, I suppose, but July, boy, we got a few of them. Tony Bennett.
Tony, 96 years old, of Alzheimer's. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, one of the crooners, one of the originals,
Yeah. He was still doing it till into his 90s.
He was even doing it with Alzheimer's. He was struggling when he did his gig with Lady Gaga.
Yeah, okay.
He was struggling there, but he still did it. But boy, these old crooners, they're pretty much gone now. He was like the last of a breed. Boy, the smooth crooners, man. They were so good. They were so good. And this one breaks my heart. You know what I'm talking about. Sinead.
Yeah, Sinead O'Connor.
Only 56 years old.
Have we heard a cause of death on her yet? I haven't.
It's still undisclosed.
I still fear it was, something
not good.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then just a day later, we had Randy Meisner from the Eagles, one of the original Eagles, a Poco, Stone Canyon Band, 77 from COPD. Jiminy creepers.
Yeah, people may know Timothy B. Schmidt made a career of following this guy. So he was in Poco, left Poco to go into the Eagles. So Timothy B. Schmidt replaced him in Poco. And then when he left the Eagles, Timothy B. Schmidt replaced him in the Eagles. Yeah. Yeah, he was a guy who wrote song "Take It to the Limit." He had a bad stage fright. That's kind of why he left the band. He had bad stage fright, and that was their biggest hit, man. Up to Hotel California, I guess. But
that's a drag.
It had to be sung every night, man, and he couldn't do it anymore, man.
Wow, that's wild. Because stage fright. Being I was in a lot of 3-piece bands, and that's easy to get stage fright when, one little fuck up and everybody knows, pardon my French. But boy, with all that big band around him, you figured it'd ease his stage fright, but apparently
just doing
not.
The vocals on a song like that.
Yeah. Wow. Next up, August 9th, 80 years old. A lot of folks may not know him, Robbie Robertson, but he was in the band.
Another Canadian.
The band, yeah. Wow. The band was just legendary. Forget about prostate cancer.
The Weight, Take a Load Off Annie. Yeah. Everybody knows that song. Yeah.
They're one of the big ones.
Up on Cripple Creek. Yeah.
She sent me if I sprang a leak. She mend me. I don't have to speak.
The night they drove old Dixie down.
Drunkard's dream if I ever did see one.
Here's one I know is not a household name. Brought it up at the time. Yeah, but to me, it's the most fascinating story in music is a guy named Sixto Rodriguez.
Oh, there he is right there. Yeah, 81 years old.
We brought up his story where he was very, very unknown. He was out of Detroit, did a couple albums in the early 70s, did nothing of note, just ended up being a roofer. He was a roofer for his whole life. But during that time in South Africa, when they were under the system of apartheid, I don't know how, but his music got over there, and he was bigger than Beatles or the Elvis. Bigger. He was it. He was the biggest thing over. It was unbelievable, and he had no idea. Had no idea. And then through a series of events, they re-released his albums, and then the liner notes kind of mention, hey, if anybody knows anything about this guy or whatever, and kind of amateur sleuth took it upon himself. I'm gonna find out about this guy, and he before you know it, man, they find out, he goes over and does a show, and it's like in a freaking stadium, man. It's an unbelievable
Unreal.
story. Yeah.
Unreal. God. Here's one
Yeah,
you may.
moving on.
Oh, moving on. See if you got the same one I got. Moving on.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Buffett.
Oh boy, 76 years old of skin cancer. Well, I'm not sort of surprised at that one, are you? He spent most of his life out in
Yeah,
the
right.
sun. So
Yeah.
I guess,
They put
some
in there.
people it hits, some people it doesn't. But
And then
boy,
it was right about that. It was the same day or the next day. Steve Harwell.
3 days later, Steve
3 days,
Harwell
yeah.
of Smash Mouth,
Smith,
liver
yeah.
failure, and the same day, Gary Wright of Spooky
Okay,
Tooth
that's one. Yeah,
passed
Gary
on.
Wright.
So
Dreamweaver.
yeah, Dreamweaver, sure. Big song for them guys. Steve Harwell was only 56 though. Gary Wright,
Yeah.
80.
Yeah. He must have been doing some heavy drinking or just been predisposed to it or something.
Yeah.
October, a couple not big names, but Rudolph Isley of the Isley Brothers.
Oof.
We had talked about them. They
Yes.
had some legal issues going on, and I don't know if the estate's carrying on those legal issues or if they're resolved.
Probably. Yeah, I bet they're carrying on. They want the money.
Probably.
84 years old. He passed at
another one from the late 70s. This is a guy kind of started off the same time as Tom Petty and kind of had parallel careers, but definitely had different trajectories at some point. But Dwight Twilley, people may remember.
72 years old.
Twilley, yeah.
Oh, he had a stroke while driving. Oh, bummer. Yeah. He had that hat, that particular hat, that goofy country hat he used to wear. Dwight Twilley. Yep.
And then in November, the Pogues, Shane McGowan. People may know.
I've been seeing that a lot on the internet. Yeah. He must have been something fabulous. 65 years old, pneumonia and encephalitis. Too many creepers. Here's one. Denny Lane, legendary. Moody Blues, Wings.
Yeah.
He passed 79 years old. See, all our heroes are getting up there now. 70s, 80s, some in the 90s, for crying out loud.
Right.
So, geez, it is what it is, So what else you got? Anything good?
Rest in peace, all fallen rockers.
Yeah, man.
Unfortunately, we know we're gonna have some more this year, but
yeah. Some I would no, I shouldn't wish it. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but yeah, it's gonna have. There's some people who should retire, some people who won't. But yeah, well, it'll be an interesting year,
And the thing is, you never know, man. You think back to like Tom Petty, and now we know he had a history of they had some opioid kind of thing, but so did Prince. But to us, that shit seemed out of the blue, man. Totally out of the blue, man. That they would die, and it could happen to anybody. So we'll see what happens, man.
Dang right. But let's hope for a great 2024. Jiminy Creepers.
Yes, sir.
Man, oh man, we need a doozy. We need a good one. A lot of good concerts. A lot of good soap operas going on in the rock world, which never stops. Because so many of these folks are narcissistic. So they can't help themselves. So we'll enjoy it all, and we'll parlay it on to you folks. But thanks again for a great 2023. Thanks for watching our program. Thanks for giving us some comments on there. Brian is one of our favorite viewers. Comments for us. We sure do appreciate that. And hope you'll like our videos. Subscribe and all that good stuff. Let's make 2024 a real great one. So why don't you take us home there, Doc?
Yeah, it's been a hell of a year, and here we are. We made it to 2024, and I'm pretty sure any election year from here on out is going to be a shit show, man. Pretty much. So we'll see how that goes. But nonetheless, we are looking forward to it with optimism, and we'll see what happens in the rock world, and we'll keep you guys informed of everything that goes on. And as Murph said, I would greatly appreciate the support. Murph, personal thank you to you, my kind sir, man. It's been a hell of a ride, man, and so glad that we're doing this together.
Oh yeah.
And please subscribe, do all that good stuff. We appreciate the support. if you've watched the video this long, we hope you liked it. If you did, hit the like button and let folks know, and that keeps us going. So, yeah, let's have a great one, guys. Let's have a great year and great rock and roll filled year. And then we'll talk about it next week. We'll see you then.